Don't retaliate, buddy. They have their opinions.
Yeah, and they're wrong.
Yeah, but like they'll learn.
I have this platform. I'm not in there. I'm not in there
Like
answering them.
Views,
That's
man.
right. You know what they say? Opinions are like buttholes. They're wrong.
Right. On today's episode, David hates on Taylor Swift.
That's just not true.
David defends billionaires.
That is also not true.
And David details his grand conspiracy that connects Rams owner Stan Kroenke to the death of Princess Di.
What? Oh, hold on. Yeah, maybe.
Find out. This is Overarching. I'm Colin.
I'm David.
And I'm Bradley.
And this is Overarching, a podcast about St. Louis, by St. Louis,
For St. Louis.
for St. Louis, in St. Louis.
5 St. Louis. 6 St. Louis. Let's do the pledge.
Let's just pledge.
I pledge allegiance to Gregory FX Daly, the one to whom we owe it all, and to our taxes, which we prefer to be paid by billionaires at a rate at least equal to, but preferably more, way more than your average person, and to the county or greater metro area in which all St. Louis-based billionaires have at least one house, stop blocking all measures, including but not limited to a city-county merger, to let the city get our hands on that sweet, sweet billionaire cash. 1% to the god of yellow envelopes ignored by all.
Speaking of the county, St. Louis County, did you hear? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Do you know anything that goes on in St. Louis County because you don't live there?
I don't, except this one
But
thing.
we barely live there.
Oh, yeah. It's worth noting canonically on this show, I'm the one actual city resident.
Yeah. We're moving to the city this year. We're moving back to the
Are
city.
you?
Yes, we're moving back to the city this year.
That's news.
Is
it's
it?
Not, it's not a... We are?
Oh, yeah. No.
Also, if you don't know the lore of Bradley and David, they were 1 year away from being in common law marriage.
Common law marriage. Thanks, Missouri.
Yep.
Sorry. Well, you can thank Bren for that.
Yeah, and
thank my
then
wife for
some woman came and broke them up. Ugh.
We forgot to.
Speaking of women, is the St. Louis County logo a vagina?
That was such a good turn. Yeah. This is a debate amongst ourselves, amongst the four of us, really.
I think it's probably a debate amongst
Amongst
more
a
than
lot of
just the
people?
four of us.
Yeah.
Put it up on the screen.
Let's talk about this real quick. So it was what, a month ago now?
Yeah. What is it? A $90,000 rebrand or something like that?
Yes, but let's be very clear. The St. Louis County rebrand.
Rebrand.
Yes, it's wow. We should start calling it the St. Louis County rebrand. Oh my gosh. But so it wasn't just the logo. It wasn't just the slogan.
It's the slogan, if you will.
Yes.
Wait, there's a new slogan too?
Yes.
was the-
It's opportunity something. Opportunity central.
Thrusting forward.
That's how bad it is. I forgot it. It's two words, and I forgot it.
What's the old slogan?
It's called Opportunity Central.
Is it like opportunity period, central period?
No,
Like,
just Opportunity Central.
Pro-con, like, why is it, why isn't it?
Oh, okay. Pro.
Pro vagina?
Yes.
I'm a feminist.
First of all, I was going to say, I don't want to be the person that says anti-vagina.
It's pro vagina because it is, especially the top part. Like it is, and if you turn it upside down,
okay, I see it more when it's upside down.
include this.
I see it more when it's upside down. I see it more when it's upside down.
Okay. Well, I rest my case.
I see a man with a hat on, with a little feather, like one little feather in the front.
Looks like it could be like a court jester.
You know, that's exactly what. So, you're trying to figure out what's
If
in
there's
there.
hallucinogens
No. I see. Okay, whatever the image is, put it up somewhere, Ian.
Spent up the whole time.
Sorry. I see that you can see the two eyeballs and all that. I see like a tongue going through his mustache right there, and I see like a little feather thing on the front.
I see that.
I do see the tongue part.
This all could have been remediated if you just filled in
Yeah.
that area. Yes.
But yeah, the trick is like I'm sure it has something to do with. Oh, there's even like a fallopian thing going. Anyway,
wow,
they got the tubes.
if you stuck with a more traditional Florida, this way having you do concentric circles and line
wait.
stuff.
I thought Missouri was like wholly against like reproduction rights.
Yeah, they say girls. Ew.
Yeah, this is very progressive for St. Louis County.
That's fair.
So here's
but it was because it was designed in the city.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
yeah. So like, hey, you decide. The thing I want to cap this off with is the quote from the press conference, which is like, "Come on, man." So Dr. Page said, and this is a quote. I'm pulling it from Fox 2 now just because that's the first one I clicked on. Good SEO, guys. Our region's population has been stagnant for decades. Yeah, the region and the city, but then we can't compete against ourselves. We must work as one. We want the Austins, the Nashvilles, and the other metro regions that have done a fine job of branding themselves to know that we see you, but we're also competing with you. One, okay, like this language about like work as one is like that sounds like very much like mergery talk, but we'll talk about why it,
you know what
it
Austin,
can't be and isn't. But here's the
Austin
thing.
and Nashville have good downtowns.
Well, and yeah, and here's the thing. You know what? When I think Nashville or Austin, and I think about like the brand of the city, I don't think about a logo or slogan.
I don't think about their county.
But not just the kind of. I don't think about a logo or slogan. I think about the culture and like it's the vibe that they've generated by like having cool neighborhoods, having cool downtowns, having like shit to do. But two, like the whole like unity thing. The biggest problem with this decision to make a new logo, when you make an investment in a new logo for the county specifically, on the heels of a failed push to find some unity between the city and county, it's an implicit statement that no matter how much you say we must work as one, it's an implicit statement that ain't nothing changing anytime soon.
You know what else could replenish population? Having babies.
So maybe there is a point to this at all. It is symbolic. Great job, everybody. Good job.
My favorite part of this rebrand was their reasoning for the coloring, what they chose. And
was the reasoning for the coloring, St. Louis City's interesting city red, city pink is really popular, so we're going to steal that.
They were like city red and Cardinals red.
Oh.
They were like it's paying homage to that, and it famously two clubs that are located in St. Louis County.
Oh wait.
Oops.
Famously.
If you take so much like cultural ownership of the sports teams in the city, why don't we just merge?
Why don't you do something about it? Why don't we
make this official, baby? Why don't we make this official?
I saw that. Is this true? I saw on TikTok this week that St. Louis is the only city in America that has all of their sports stadiums downtown.
I believe so. I mean, Pittsburgh.
Are they all downtown?
So you've got the Pirates, you got the Penguins, you got the Steelers. If the Steelers...
Or are the Penguins downtown?
I'm not sure if the Penguins are downtown. So I know the Pirates and Steelers are downtown, but hold on, let me check.
Gotcha. Well, the important part is that it feels true. And also, this isn't red. It's like
maroonish.
Yeah, it's like magenta.
Yeah, but they specifically said
because they're close to the Cardinals, but not quite.
Is that what it is? It's just so ridiculous, their reasoning behind it. Yes, the $90,000 is a lot of money.
This looks like it was made on Canva.
What's up?
This looks like it was made on Canva.
I mean, it probably was.
Which is, no shade on Canva.
No.
Canva
you can do a lot of things.
I'm also not being paid $90,000 to design a logo for a...
By the way, PPG, the stadium in which the Penguins play in, is technically not like downtown, but it's kind of like our downtown west.
Does PPG stand for Penguins?
Yes, it does.
It's the paints.
That's company. Right. Yeah. Pittsburgh Paint Group.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
There you go.
PPG. Pittsburgh Penguins. Yeah, no, they're basically so. And I
What a
actually
pain in
love
Mike
Pittsburgh.
wins.
I think Pittsburgh and St. Louis are very similar cities. I really do. Also, all the three of their sports teams are yellow, white, and black. So I love that all three of their sports teams, the unity of that city, and their bridges are yellow. Like that, there's so much like brand recognition of Pittsburgh. Hey, St. Louis County, if you want to do a good job of branding your friggin' area, look at Pittsburgh. All right.
I'm gonna follow up on your statement.
Yep.
Yeah, St. Louis's downtown isn't great, but like those cities, Austin and Nashville and Jacksonville, like the cities that have like merged city county.
Yeah.
All downtowns were bad in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s.
Urban renewal.
Right. And it's like including ours. And frankly, ours is better than it was then.
Yeah.
Did I mention crime was down 20%? That was last week.
Did we mention
the
million times that we've mentioned?
But what do you think made those downtowns better?
A new logo.
Exactly. Having the tax money from the county.
I will say, though, Missouri needs a new flag.
Sure, it's
state
one
of
of the
Missouri.
many bed sheet flags. One of the many.
Bed sheet flags. Yes,
That's like what they're called in the vexillological
Yeah,
community.
they call them SOBs.
Yeah, seal on a bed sheet.
Yeah. States right now, lots of states are going through their vexillological changes.
Minnesota just had, this is not Missouri related,
Yes.
but I love
Does
it.
start with
But
an
I love
M.
Minnesota. It does.
Aye.
The Minnesota just released their new flag to get away from their SOB flag.
People were pumped, and then
They
weren't.
picked the worst one.
They were like, oh my gosh, look, one thing that we all agree on.
Yeah.
And the
Honestly-
government was like, nah, we're doing the other one.
Honestly, the one with the curvy lines was my favorite.
Yeah.
But also, speaking of just like shouting out YouTubers that are bigger than us, JJ McCullough, our favorite Canadian who commentates on all things North America, specifically the US of A.
Has some weird conservative takes.
Because, yeah. But it was, and this is interesting in the way that I don't know if I agree with all of it, but it does like open up a side of the thing that I haven't thought about. It's like, because I would say, due to Roman Mars, I was very like vexillology pilled.
Yeah.
In,
The
in
99,
like,
that one 99% invisible episode.
yes, you know,
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
it's usually a sign of a bad take when the take is, has X gone too far? But there is like a trajectory of flag redesigns. Like, I think like, yes, a lot of flags could and should be redesigned, but like the strictness to which they're holding themselves to this kind of random set of guidelines is kind of making everything a little bit like,
I am really excited for the day when, I'm not sure if they had flags already put up for this or not, but when they do put it up, them waving a white flag all through St. Louis County.
We admit it.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's like, you got us. You got us.
there you have it.
All right, I think it's time for
31425.
31425 is the love child of a top 5 and a tier list. If you don't get it,
You will.
You will.
Today's 31425 is actually more of a
Actually,
4, 2, 5,
that
3, 6.
4, 2, 5, 3, 6. Because there are no good billionaires.
And our 31425 is St. Louis Billionaires.
Yeah, because
of which there are like 7 or 8.
Is
something like that
Are we talking about
right now?
actual people, or are we talking about like a old-timey baseball team based in St. Louis? Because that seems like
Actual people.
the St. Louis Supremos, the St. Louis Billionaires.
If we had a number one, we wouldn't, because the best billionaire isn't.
Yes. There's no such thing as a good billionaire. And
You either
we
have
all-
to be good, or you can be a billionaire.
Yes. Yes. All right. So let's start with 3, which is kind of 4. Right? Roger Riney.
Roger Winey.
Who dat?
Roger Riney, you may know the name specifically from Scott Trade. Scott Trade.
Riney rhymes with Heine.
I'm not gonna lie. Great observation skills.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yeah, that took a lot of guts. Butts. So he has a net worth of,
Unethical excess.
as of last year, which places him at number 5 or 6-ish, something like that. It changes so frequently.
Like number 5 or 6 ish.
In terms of
on this list?
on the St. Louis rich list.
Oh, gotcha.
On the St. Louis wealth list. So Riney co-founded that discount brokerage that we all know as Scottrade in 1980.
What is a discount brokerage? Were you about to ask the same thing?
No. I was going to say, hey, 1980, prime time to get into, securities and trading.
Very true.
But you're right.
Which is hence why
they were like, Reagan's coming in, baby. We're going to double down. What
1980.
is a discount brokerage firm?
The everyday person could more easily access, get into trading,
stock market?
get into trading and into stock markets. Just the ease of access was there through Scottrade. That's kind of what.
So he's an accessibility king, is what you're saying.
He's like the Robin Hood of 1980.
He's like the Robin Hood of billionaires.
I don't like this. I don't like this anymore. I don't like talking about billionaires.
Number one.
Maybe we should not talk about billionaires.
I'm honestly surprised that someone who made their billions off of dealing in financial instruments. It's wild that they're only a 3 and not wildly lower. Let's hear more about him.
The reason he's number 3, he has donated $40 million to Washington University to research the condition and develop treatments of the neurodegenerative illnesses that he is afflicted by.
Oh.
So he
selfish.
Yeah, totally. He donated a further $16.5 million in 2020 to that Cancer Institute for more research. He's donated a lot of his wealth, but at the same time,
not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah, $40 million is like nothing.
Not enough. So Forbes has a list of their Forbes 400 rich people in America, all that stuff.
The Forbes 400 under 400?
400 under 400. That's really good. They give a philanthropy score.
That's on inflation, baby.
They give a philanthropy score 1 through 5. 1 being that you're not doing any philanthropy at all, you little numbskull. And 5 being, wow, you're actually doing a lot of philanthropy for being a billionaire. He has a philanthropy score of 2, which
not enough.
Oh, you ready for this? Over 50% of all billionaires have a 1 philanthropy score.
As we said, no good billionaires.
No good billionaires. Over 50% of all billionaires were given a 1 philanthropy score by Forbes. And Forbes...
The famous arbiter of generosity and goodness, Forbes magazine.
Yeah, for real. That's saying something.
Wow.
All right. So I put Roger at 3, 4 in this scenario.
Once again, the bell curve just...
You can put him anywhere, but from what I have heard, and I have met people around St. Louis who have met Roger and his family, he's a decent human being.
Maybe this segment should be called 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
Yeah. Honestly, it could be. Okay, let's jump to 1, which is actually 2.
Which is actually 5.
Which is actually 5. Dave Stewart. You know this guy from being the CEO and founder of Worldwide Technology.
Ooh.
His net worth is now around
unethical excess,
being around the 3rd wealthiest person in St. Louis. And this is why he's the top of our list.
Uh-huh.
All right. He is one of 8 kids. His father was a janitor, trash collector, and regularly lived himself paycheck to paycheck. At one point, I'm
crying.
Just had he worked for his money. Is what I'm saying.
He worked for his hundreds of thousands, maybe even worked for his millions.
Yes, he is what people call self-made.
He's living paycheck to paycheck, and then one day he lived that American dream and became a billionaire. What is that thing you always say, Bradley? That
most Americans, the reason why they can't get behind taxing the wealthy a fair amount is because they view themselves as temporarily deposed millionaires. It's one of these days I'm going to get.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to be on top.
So is
it's because the propaganda runs deep, baby.
Are you saying that Dave Stewart is the one person where this actually worked for?
Is
there any part to the story where he was living paycheck to paycheck, or is there any part to the story that's between him living paycheck to paycheck and him having $6 billion?
Yeah.
Or did he just not buy Starbucks and go out to eat as much and then became a billionaire?
Well, he probably bought real estate when you could afford real estate, because now you can't.
Even paycheck to paycheck?
Probably. Dude, living paycheck to paycheck, you probably could still afford real estate back then.
I don't know if that. I mean, like, I think that by very definition, paycheck to paycheck means that you can't afford anything else.
I know. I'm being pedantic.
Are you ranked this billionaire number 1? Does that mean David likes billionaires?
I've met Dave. He seems nice.
Are you David biased?
No. I am David biased. People that go by David instead of Dave. I do appreciate that. I'm not a Dave. I grew up right next to 2 guys named Dave. Like, they specifically went by Dave, and I was like, I don't want to go by Dave. It's like my whole life. Now, these are good guys.
Too bad walking home from...
I just Dave, was like, I'm okay with people being Dave.
Just don't force your lifestyle down my throat, Dave.
Dave sounds like I'm an elementary school teacher, which is cool.
Dave, Mr. Dave.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
Anyways,
too bad.
Founder of Worldwide Technology.
Living right next door to 2 Daves means that either way you walked home from school that day, you did have to go by Dave.
2 days sitting
in
in
very good. That was incredible. Did you hear that?
No, I was busy doing my 2 Daves sitting in a hot tub 6 feet apart because they're not Dave.
Stewart set up the Stewart Family Foundation, which distributes over 350 grants in Missouri and 275 in St. Louis specifically. He has a philanthropy score of 2, but Forbes also gives out a self-made score of 1 to 10, and he is a 10. So that's why he's top of the list. And you know,
still, like Forbes magazine, it seems like they're dragging these people. It's just like everybody gets a 1 or 2.
First of all, like all great wealth is fundamentally built on exploitation. Like that, it only exists that way.
Because it's also like it's like these people all sort of share the same like kind of ebb and flow. They made their billions and then they were philanthropists to some extent. That's a word. We're just gonna go with it. And it's like if you pile a bunch of turds on one side of the scale of justice, and then later pile a bunch of cash on the other side of the scales of justice, enough to maybe balance it out, turds are still there.
Number 4. Do you have any or 5 in this case? Do you have any stabs at this one? At
a St. Louisan through and through, except
a St. Louisan through and through.
Except he's not anymore.
Except he's kind of not.
He left.
He left us.
But local company that employs a lot of people still.
Yes,
that's a worldwide
that goes
company.
by a different name now.
Does it really?
It's no longer.
It's no longer that
Square.
Oh, I was gonna. Yep.
It's no longer Square. We're talking about Jack Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey, baby.
Jack Dorsey.
Oh, you were talking about Twitter.
The other company doesn't go by.
Oh yeah.
Does Square not go by Square anymore?
Square does not go by Square anymore. It goes by Block.
Oh, because now it's 3-dimensional.
Yes. But also, and my favorite thing about it,
fucking stupid.
My favorite thing about Jack Dorsey is he calls himself not the CEO. He calls himself the Blockhead.
You know,
how can you not love a guy like that?
That's pretty funny. That made him more endearing than these first 2 guys.
Forbes gave him a 5 on humor.
They gave him Forbes gave him a 4 on philanthropy, though.
Oh dang!
They gave him a 4 on philanthropy. I've told you guys about this during the COVID relief fund that like he gave away 25% of his net worth.
So right now, other than him being a billionaire, all wins. So you bring him down to earth.
And why is he a little bit higher? You're probably like, wait, why is he higher on this list?
A St. Louisan, a Blockhead, a 4?
Dude spends his money wildly, and like, yes, he like donated a lot of it to science. But the wild things he says, if just go read anything that he's written, go look into conversations that he's had with Elon Musk. God, I hate saying that guy's name in my mouth.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey's famously crazy.
Yes, famously nuts.
But does that make him
bad?
Does that make him bad?
But we've already established that being a billionaire makes somebody bad.
The baseline of bad. Yes, he's a billionaire.
That's not what
we already know what that means. It probably does, though. Let's be real.
Fair.
What
his self-made score is like a 7.
What makes him worse than Dave Stewart?
I put him a little bit higher on this list. Well, lower, I guess. 5 on this list.
Yeah.
Because of the image that he creates for St. Louis too. Right?
I guess
like a lot of people around the country.
Though?
People know him as like a St. Louis.
People don't. I feel like people look at John Hamm and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's St. Louis because he always is exuding St. Louis." But like Jack Dorsey's not like, "I'm from St. Louis." You know.
No, but he definitely claims St. Louis.
Sure.
Like
but he's not constantly out there talking about it and then being like, "I'm from St. Louis. Look at shit on the floor." It's like, you know,
that's famously has done that. Yeah,
has he?
No.
Okay. I don't know much.
I love how you reacted in a way because you like, oh, billionaires might do that. I don't know.
I mean,
yeah.
Just
putting it out there.
Put another stack on the scales of justice.
So Sam Walton shit on my floor once. So
anyways,
unethical
used to be
excess
before he bought all that Starbucks and went out to eat too much.
Yeah, honestly, if he would have just stayed at home and cooked for himself. So Block, he created Blue Sky, which is that new blockchain social media network that he launched a couple years ago that now actually has 2 million users at the end of this past year.
We are not being crypto bros. I know you invested in crypto and want it to be a thing.
I believe in blockchain technology. I do.
You look like a fool right now.
I don't.
You look like a fool.
No, Bitcoin's back up to 41. So
41 what?
1,000.
41 Bitcoins.
No. That's 1 Bitcoin.
It's up to 40. It's up to 41 Doges.
Let's not go into blockchain technology on a St. Louis culture, economics, and
I mean,
podcast.
you're the one who says you're into it. So.
Number 2. Let's not go into blockchain technology.
No, I'm just out here trying to destroy your reputation, David.
It's been destroyed, buddy. How about we go back to worldwide technology?
Oh,
sure, yeah.
Let's go back.
That's a great idea. I'm glad you just came up with it just now.
Yeah. Jim Kavanaugh is higher on this list. I could have flipped Jack and Jim. It's an impossible way to rank these. All right.
Well, like I said,
famously,
5, 5, 5, 5,
you know,
5.
since I'm the purveyor
I'm
the purveyor of really accurate information on this podcast, and I've been known for that. Jim Kavanaugh, Brett Kavanaugh's brother.
Great.
Nailed it. Totally nailed it. No, Jim Kavanaugh around
unethical excess.
I actually know Jim. I would not necessarily call him a friend, but
so let me get this straight.
We've met several times.
You're pro crypto and friends of the billionaire.
I didn't say a friend. Remember,
David Lemon, man of the people.
Used to be the owner of St. Louis Football Club in the United States, the United Soccer League, of which St. Louis Football Club was a part of, and regularly hung out with the Luligans, because he was a man of the people for the club. Like he really got it because he himself was part of the 1984 Olympic U.S. team.
Oh, no way.
He was a great soccer player. Played at SLU.
So he's rich and talented?
Unbelievably talented soccer player. And he is, in my opinion, the biggest proponent and biggest reason we have St. Louis City Soccer Club.
Oh.
He is a minority owner. Each time we had a push to get a MLS club in St. Louis, he was the largest proponent of getting the club here.
So why is he number 2/5 and not?
So
1/5?
his philanthropy score is 1.
His minority stake in the Blues.
He has a minority stake in the Blues. And as of 2022, he was appointed to Stifel's financial board. So he's heavily involved in the economics of St. Louis. The reason I put him
Illuminati.
The reason I put him so high, and here's the thing that I want to make clear: billionaires are people too.
Barely.
All right. I know that you guys might have different thoughts about that. All right. Billionaires are still people. Jim is a real person, and I like Jim. All right. From what I know about my time hanging out with him,
it does seem like if I stopped going out to eat as much and getting coffee, and I became a billionaire, it does sound like he just is kind of just doing cool stuff with his money. He's just like, oh, this is the city. I'm just gonna throw some money at these teams. Which is what something I would do.
A lot of billionaires are like, sports.
But
it is a thing.
Well, here's the wild thing: is like you have to be so out of touch to be a billionaire. Period. Because if you were in touch at all with like the cultural zeitgeist, do you know like how much love, adoration, press, goodwill you would buy forever?
Yeah.
If you donated or like blind trust foundationed like all of your money above $1 billion, like if you said, I refuse to be a billionaire and voluntarily said, the money above, 99999 is not mine. The headlines, the goodwill, the everything, it'd be so easy. And at that point, cost you so little.
Yeah.
Because of what that surplus is, it is unfathomable.
I have
to the human mind how much money that is. It would cost you basically nothing at that level to make yourself voluntarily not a billionaire, and like you would be king of everyone's hearts.
Yeah.
So like,
and also still king
of everyone's dollars. Yeah.
It's funny you say that. Like I talk about Paul McKee all the time, and like just how much land and how much crap he's done in North City. If he somehow were to work with residents of North City and, but also people and investors wanting to move into and like build a, not like planned city, but kind of, to build out a community land trust. Go look it up. I'm not going to get into
community
it.
land trusts are great. We'll do an episode on that at some point.
But like if the St. Louis Billionaires got together and with the community were like, you know what we can do? We can build a community land trust together with everybody that wants to like build out this community. Immediately people would be like, you know what, Paul?
We forgive you.
You're kind of a hero, man. Which is like weird to think about.
But to add to Bradley's point, like if the top 50 billionaires, I'm just pulling this out of my butt, but like I'm sure it's even less than 50.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably more like 10. The top 10 billionaires even gave all of their money above $1 billion to blind trust institutions that better the community, whatever. I mean, like we just wouldn't have any quality problems anymore.
Zero.
Yeah.
Like it's that much money.
I mean, it is
like U.S. funding the military levels of money.
It is solve world hunger and house the homeless money.
World hunger.
Yeah. It is,
and give everybody universal basic income.
Yes.
And it's just like, it is
not just universal, like tens of thousands of universal basic income. Everybody. That's how much money is circulating right now.
And anything else is propaganda, and you're buying into it if you are mad.
Yeah.
So get out of the comment section.
Yeah.
Number 5, a woman that you may not have heard of.
A woman? Ew! Missouri, 2022.
You may not have heard of, but her previous name. Cargill. Ever heard of that?
Yeah,
that's her previous name.
It's a company.
That's the Arch of East St. Louis.
Yes,
is that one
the
giant
Arch of East St. Louis?
That one giant tank that says Cargill on the
Pauline
side.
McMillan Kyneth, the largest shareholder of Cargill currently, likely
unethical excess,
the wealthiest person in Missouri.
Oh, that's never good when you don't know for sure.
Yes, the great granddaughter of the Cargill founder. Nepotism, baby. The great granddaughter of the Cargill founder. She is 89 years old and is the great granddaughter. Nepotism baby. She's actively donates. You ready for this? This is why she's number 5. Self-made score of 1, philanthropy score of 1. Regularly donates to Josh Hawley's campaign.
No.
So take that as you will.
Josh Hawley, ew, not Missouri.
Yeah.
Listen,
2022.
take it as you will.
Unfortunately.
You ready for hold on. Let's do this as a take of like what let's feel what it feels like to see this seriously. Josh Hawley's a person too. How's that feel?
I hope that's edited to make you look bad.
Yeah. Here's the weird thing though.
Crypto. Billionaires are people too. Josh Hawley's a person too. David Lemon right now.
Running on Reaganomics 2024.
Oh my God.
She is the largest donor to Andrew Bailey's AG campaign. You know Andrew Bailey? Our current Attorney General of Missouri.
Probably
How do you not know that? All right. How do we not know that, guys?
Probably not a good guy.
Come on.
Is he a good guy? He's not a good guy.
Who supported and basically created the abortion ban in Missouri?
Oh, not a good guy.
All right. So,
he was the one. He was the guy who I quoted earlier.
Yes.
Women, ew.
Yeah. He created the emergency ruling for the trans care bans. All that. She's 90.
Once again, problem with billionaires, problem with extreme wealth is just whenever she dies, won't fix the problem.
No, it'll still create nepotism upon nepotism, baby. It's just what it is. Anyways, honorable mentions. All right, honorable mentions. Jack Taylor, the founder of Enterprise. He had a net worth of
unethical excess.
And at the time of his death in 2016, age 96, he's still the wealthiest Missourian ever. All time. his fortune remains with the Taylor family, and that is the reason why we have St. Louis City Soccer Club.
Now, I know a lot of you were saying, like, hey, we just did a 31425 on Billionaires, and there was one person that popped into your mind when we said that, and then we didn't talk about him. And one, he didn't actually qualify for that list as much as he's associated with St. Louis. He's not actually a St. Louisan. But we are still going to talk about him. And as bad as you think he is, it's worse. David?
It's not just worse. It's
he's the man from Mara.
The man from, is it Morrow?
Morrow?
I think it's Morrow.
Morrow.
But let's talk about his wife first, shall we?
Weave us a tale, David.
Ann Walton.
Whoa.
Famously of Walton Mart.
Famously of Walton Mart, $9.4 billion worth. She is the heiress to the Walmart fortune. Her sister Nancy, and her inherited the stock from her father, Bud, who was the brother of Sam, who founded Walmart. She is the owner, and this is, I left her other last name redacted because this might give a hint.
Everyone already knows.
Everybody already knows. She's the owner of the Denver Nuggets of the NBA and the Colorado Avalanche of the NHL.
And the holder of a marriage license that also features
her Kroenke last name.
Mr.
Enos Stanley Kroenke.
Which
and
sounds,
do you know,
which
do you know why?
Which,
and obviously, if you look on Wikipedia and all the things that I didn't, first of all, I didn't just do Wikipedia. This is research from people that I know too, because of my days working in
because of all the
sports.
billionaires he knows.
Okay. This episode's making me look horrible. Maybe I should stop talking. Anybody else want to talk?
Why you decided to do a 31425?
I did. Because it's interesting and people want to know about this.
Platforming billionaire.
Enos
David
Stanley,
Lemon.
Oh my God, no. Okay, Enos Stanley Kroenke, named for Enos Slaughter. Famous for the Mad Dash in 1946, solidifying the third World Series since 1942, effectively being the Giants of the 1940s, 42, 44, 46, 44, famously the St. Louis World Series against St. Louis Browns.
So this guy was named after baseball.
He was named after baseball, and you know why his name is Stanley? It's because it's Enos for Enos Slaughter and Stanley for Stanley Man Musial. For the cup, no. For the cool cup. For the 2 Stanley Cups that he's won. I hate that guy.
Stanley Cup is about hockey too?
First of all, it's one that he's won. What?
Stanley Cup's about hockey?
What are you talking about?
No, Stanley Cup's about spending way too much money on an insulated mug because it's a fad.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know where you guys were going with that.
I do want to say, just a quick aside, that like the NHL right now in this cultural moment has like the opportunity to like do a discount version of what the NFL is doing with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The branding opportunity for the Stanley Cup is there is something to be had there, and no one's taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, Enos.
So I don't know. That just irks me that he's named after 2 super famous St. Louis baseball players.
Way to squander 2 great names.
Stan is like one of the nicest people in the freaking universe. All right, like he would drive around St. Louis with his he would have tons of baseballs in his trunk, and see kids playing at just stadiums and fields around St. Louis, and he would stop his car and get out and just break out the balls and sign, because his signature on a ball is basically valueless because everybody has it.
Honey Bear. This is about Stan Kroenke.
Did you know that Stan Musial has 1,815 hits at home and 1,815 hits on the road? Anyways, he is actually born in Mora, Missouri. Stanley Kroenke. Enos Stanley Kroenke.
Which is actually
Mora.
Closer to...
It's really close to Sedalia. It's just south of Sedalia, which is closer to...
Kansas City.
Yeah. All right. Currently lives in multiple places. He has multiple residences. All right.
A billionaire with multiple residences.
Are we doxing people again?
Oh, is this gonna be our doxing billionaires episode?
I want to talk to you about my favorite thing about Stan Kroenke.
We have to before. I don't want to parlay this amazing fact because it is an amazing fact.
I just love it so much.
For those of you who don't know, which I'm sure most of you do, but I'm not from St. Louis originally, and I feel like there are other people like me who maybe aren't attached to football as much who don't know who this man is.
Oh, should we say the precedent? Yeah.
Stan Kroenke, current owner of the Los Angeles Rams, who were formerly the St. Louis Rams.
From 1995 to 16.
Gaslighted the city a couple years ago into thinking that he was going to stay in St. Louis with the Rams if we built him a new stadium.
Starting in 2010, he started gaslighting.
Sure, yeah, and
Well,
like,
actually, when he bought the team in 1995.
everybody went all up in a tizzy about it. We there's multiple referendums about new stadium funding, blah, 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 lots of conversation about it, and then he left anyway. And wasn't it like, again, purveyor of totally accurate information on this podcast? Didn't they strike a deal for a new stadium and then he left anyway?
Didn't strike
they
a
never
deal.
struck a deal? Okay.
It was a 1.3 billion, 1.7 billion. I know that's a 400 million.
There was an amount of money that we were like, yeah, we're willing to do this. And he was like, bye anyway.
We were willing to put in a little bit of money.
We were negotiating in good faith.
North Riverfront
and he
stadium.
pretended like we weren't. And that's kind of the court findings. The reason we have this settlement is because the court findings were like, oh, he was kind of like leading us on, saying, well, if you give me a good enough proposal, we'll think about it. We're like, all right, let's put together a good proposal. And he's like, well, no, your proposal's not good enough. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, he'd been doing all the back dealings, and the NFL had been saying,
bought
like,
at 60 acres of land, bought 60
NFL.
acres of land in LA, bought a bunch of more property in LA around it, started doing all those deals out there while being a team in St. Louis. Is a whole thing.
And now we have
And
this,
all the owners had to vote on the move from St. Louis, and the Hunt family of Kansas City voted for them to move. There was only 2 owners that voted for the Rams against the Rams moving to LA, and one of them abstained from being known, and the other one was a Cincinnati Bengals owner, which is why I'm a fan of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Amen.
There you go.
And they're close enough.
They're close enough. In 2010, he started talking to the Hunt family, famously of ketchup fame.
Uh-huh.
No.
Actually?
No.
I was going to say, was that why they're red?
No. But started talking to the Hunt family and was just like, hey, we want the St. Louis TV market. We want the St. Louis market for all sorts of marketing and media and all that. We want that
We want the money.
So we're going to help you do whatever you want to get out to LA. And they worked like fervently together.
Now we're a Cincinnati
Why
Bengals
do you think
city.
I hate the goddamn city of Kansas City so much?
Yeah.
And
So
it's
if
not
you're-
because
if you're a
here's the
Chiefs
thing.
fan, you're a traitor.
Kinda, but like if you're
You're
from
that Swifties?
like this has nothing to do with Taylor Swift.
David hates Taylor Swift.
I do not. Oh God, that's gonna get me canceled. She's a queen.
Nothing else about this episode is
According
going
to
to
a
get
million
David canceled.
billion people.
That one though.
That's the one that'll send everybody into a tizzy.
Yeah. So
There's the precedent. That's
There's
the
St. Louis in a nutshell. Remember that one time?
Be a
Also,
Bengals fan because they didn't vote.
They voted for
move.
the St. Louis Rams to stay in St. Louis.
And also, they're a lot closer to Kings Island. So
Mr.
Are they the?
Oh my God. Okay. Any whoosies.
No, they're not the. I was going to say the Bears are
The
probably
Indianapolis
closer than them.
Colts are 1 mile closer than the
Indianapolis.
Chicago Bears.
There you go.
1 mile.
But Cincinnati's not that far.
No, it's like 6 hours max.
and like 20 minutes from Mason. So
You know what? In a cool city.
Cincinnati is a cool city.
Shares with St. Louis,
Yes.
one of the more pretty drives into a city. If you're coming to St. Louis
Yes.
from the,
Cincy
you're
is-
coming to Cincinnati from the south, from Kentucky,
Yeah.
and you come around the hill,
and you go over
it's
the
like,
bridge.
oh, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
doing that when I went to Kings Island.
Yeah. Also, overrated ballpark. Great American Ballpark, overrated. Everybody seems to love it. It is so bland and boring. I don't like it.
But it's got that big glove.
So let's go. Yeah. So
Tell us what
like
we
the
don't know about
$795 million settlement that we got from the NFL, from owners and Stan, and the NFL itself, actually should have been valued at around $3 billion. The fact that we only got $795 million is insane.
I mean,
when in the actuality is not a real thing. When in reality, we got like $270 million to the city of St. Louis, and like 250 of that went to the lawyers, which is insane.
The fact that it was a settlement means we didn't get enough.
It's because it would have been prolonged for another couple years,
Which is fair.
I would rather have $3 billion freaking dollars 3 years down the line. Let's move on to Stan a little bit further. So mostly around Walmarts, like just around Walmarts, he owns a lot of land. So Stan, yes,
Oh,
isn't
so
that-
like literally,
he
like,
just leverages his marriage to his wife and the relationship with the Walton family to buy property.
Is he buying that land before there's a Walmart there?
Yes and no. It depends on the situation.
Sure.
Yeah. So Stan and Ann met in Aspen while on vacation.
Or as the tabloids call them, Stan.
with 2 N's.
That was very good. Good job. Yeah, that was dumb. How dare you do that ever again?
That's my job here. I don't do any research.
Yes, you do. You do a lot. All right. So outside of that, he also like married up into that, Walton family foundation. He is definitely a Nepo baby in that regard, right? Because he just married into the wealth. That is still nepotism. All right. So he owns, and I quote, 1.6 million acres of ranches across North America. All right. He famously owns the Wagoner Ranch down in Texas, 535 acres outside of Vernon or outside of, where he lives. Yes. It's over, by the way, if you don't know what 535,000 acres is, it's over 800 square miles.
How big is the city of St. Louis? 66 square miles, something like that?
64, yeah, something like that. 800 square miles. Damn. It's just shy of King Ranch for being the largest. It's
could have moved the Rams there.
Yeah. He owns literally half the size of Rhode Island. He owns literally half the size of Rhode Island in just ranches.
So you're saying if he became his own state, he'd still be the smallest one, but not by much?
Hey, yeah. Yeah. He owns a British Columbia ranch that's bigger than the city of Vancouver. Won a 10-year court battle that allows him to bar the public and anglers, fishers, from accessing his land to reach public lakes. These are public lakes that are located within the boundaries of his private property. So he bought the property and made like the public lakes private, but they had been public for so long, like thousands of anglers would go to these lakes to fish.
There's no way to fish from a helicopter.
And the only way to access them was through his property. And he won a 10-year legal battle, and no one is allowed to access it anymore because he's an absolute asshole. He also owns a mansion in Columbia, Missouri. He went to Mizzou. He is the 5th largest landowner in the United States of America.
By square footage?
He is the 5th, let me say that again, the 5th largest landowner in the United States of America. Think about that.
Enos?
Mm-hmm. Enos.
This is by like square mile, square
He
acreage.
owns 30 million square feet of commercial real estate as well. Yes. I'll talk a little bit. He owns a bunch of ranches.
Uh-huh.
All right. Does he own any of the stadiums?
He owns
Does he own SoFi?
ball stadium.
Wait,
Pepsi Stadium.
He doesn't.
that?
And he owns, he doesn't own.
Where's Pepsi Stadium?
Denver.
Ah.
You said he owns a bunch of ranches?
Owns a bunch of ranches.
He doesn't own Hidden Valley, does he?
No. Oh my God, amazing. Amazing. All right, so now let's say some other things that he owns with his wife and that Arsenal Football Club, Rams, obviously, the Nuggets, the Rapids, the Avalanche, the Mammoth, all of the Denver clubs besides the Broncos, he owns. Mammoth or lacrosse.
But David, I only like esports.
Oh, that's great, because he owns the Los Angeles Gladiators of the Overwatch League and the Los Angeles Guerrillas of the Call of Duty League. How about that?
Wow.
Does he have
like esports?
Does he have like a cool son or something?
He's got a son named Josh that owns the Nuggets. He also owns the Nuggets.
Gotcha.
Like runs the Nuggets. He is, and this is a real title, the governor of the Nuggets. I don't know. I don't make it up. I just do the research.
I want to be a Nugget governor.
Yeah. Oh my God, Nugget governor. New band name,
dude. Also,
come on.
Also, this shows. Remember how we talked about all the weed we smoked? I just now got that there is a second, like there's a coincidental double entendre now with the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, sweetie.
Anyway, continue.
That's cute.
All right, so let's talk about his land and the property that he owns. All right, my favorite thing about Stan Kroenke. He has a $20 million Malibu Barbie beach house.
Wait, hold. An actual Malibu Barbie beach house?
Mm-mm. I just like calling it a Malibu Barbie beach house. It's a Malibu beach house.
Oh, that's less fun.
But it is a Malibu beach house. He bought it for like $8 million. Now it's worth $20 million because that's how billionaires make their wealth is real estate.
Does he pay Margot Robbie to live there?
Probably. Is that Malibu Barbie beach house used to be owned by Dodi Fayed. Do you know that name? Dodi Fayed. If you do not,
then you weren't around in the 90s.
Princess Di had plans to move into that home before that car crash. Her and Dodi Fayed were lovers of sorts. The Crown inaccurately depicts their relationship. I am an avid Princess Di conspiracy theorist. I am hardcore into the Princess Di. I had a purple Beanie Baby Princess Di. I was into her. I know exactly where I was when she was in that car crash. August 31st, 1997.
You weren't in that car.
I was not in that car. But now, I have done so much insane conspiracy theory nutjob research. I think Stan Kroenke had plans with Queen Elizabeth all along to off-die.
For the house?
Establish a deeper relationship with the crown, just to take ownership of that property, and more importantly, Arsenal, the football club. I think Stan Kroenke was behind the death of Princess Di and Dodi Fayed. You heard me right. Where was he on August 31st, 1997? I will tell you. If you recall, Stan Kroenke bought 30% of the Rams in 95 with Georgia to bring the Rams to St. Louis, moving the team to his home state and a town supposedly he loved. Yeah, bullshit. In 97, what did he do? He increased his stake in 1997 in August of 97.
In the Rams?
In the Rams. He increased his stake to 40%, creating the groundwork for Kroenke sports and entertainment business. All of these meetings and boards were like built and the business was created in 1997. Coincidence? Okay, let's move on. The business was officially founded in 1999. Yes, all the groundwork was done then. He became a minority shareholder of Arsenal in 2007 with that KSE group. Let's dive deeper, shall we? Doug Ellis, the owner of Princess Di's favorite football club, Aston Villa. Harry and William both love the club to this day, and they talk about loving the club and going to all sorts of Aston Villa matches. He sold off a crap ton of his shares in May of 1997. Where do you think that money went to? Any guesses?
Keep on cooking, baby.
I
Let us
have
know.
no idea where this is going.
Doug Ellis and Stan Kroenke are friends. We're friends.
So hold on. Where do
you think a lot of his KSE and dealings with his knowledge of getting into football? Why a dude from Mora, Missouri have an interest in freaking international football? All right? In 97, he had a relationship with this guy? Why?
Can I attempt to sum up your very good theory?
I'm not even done. All right?
No.
Go.
So what you're saying is, what you're alleging is that Stan Kroenke, I'm going to try to lay this out in chronological order. Stan Kroenke, he bought the Rams or became a minority owner of the Rams in 95, increased his ownership in 97 to acquire more money to lay the groundwork for an organization that he was going to go and put money into Arsenal and also Aston Villa, for which Princess Di's family are fans of. And then he divested his money from that football club that Princess Di's family is fans of just before her death in order to get more money to do something nefarious involving what?
Well, who did he meet with in the summer of 1997 besides Mr. Ellis? Has Stan Kroenke ever met the Crown?
Did he?
He met the Crown in 1997. I rest my case.
So
you met Queen Elizabeth?
Mm-hmm.
And they chatted?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just saying, where are the Nixon tapes?
I am here for this, by the way. By the way, let's be very clear. Hold on. This all might not be true. But
what's his motive?
Yeah, that's
the
what
house?
I am so convinced. I've done full on Charlie Day, connecting all the things
Pepe
with
Sylvia.
strings. Pepe Sylvia, dude. I have gone full Pepe Sylvia. All right. There is I don't understand why this dude from Mora would be like so interested in football and like such an Anglophile and like had such a relationship with the owner of Aston Villa and then like had a bunch of weird dealings going on in the same month and like then bought Dodi Fayed's house. So like
so what
that is so where they were going to move into.
Right.
Like they were going to.
David, I believe you.
It's so weird.
But so what is so tie it
all
all
up. I believe the crown off to die.
Yeah,
I still believe
that's common knowledge, allegedly.
I still believe it.
Here's what is missing, I think, from my understanding of your very good theory.
It's airtight.
What's Kroenke's motivation for being involved, and what's Kroenke's benefit from being involved?
Dude, Kroenke, he is so far removed from it. Like he's not even like he has everything to gain from. Dude, it's all about.
Can you name those things?
Okay, you ready?
Name the motivation.
He has
name the
money.
benefit.
He has money in like a bajillion things. All right, he is all about creating the diversity of his portfolio. Why he is just using his relationships to elevate his wealth. That's all billionaires think about. Are billionaires people? If we're going to use the idea that billionaires aren't people, you did earlier. Then they don't care about these things or where the money comes from. They just care about it going up and up and up.
So
that's it.
So I don't within this.
Yeah.
What is Kroenke's direct benefit from Diana's death?
Money. Like I don't think like.
Can you elucidate that?
You can't elucidate on anything. It's money and power. That's literally it. All billionaires care about is money and power. Otherwise, they wouldn't be billionaires.
No good billionaires.
Fair.
All billionaires killed Princess Di.
The royal family is a human rights violation and justice for Di. Continue.
Yes, very good. All right. So to like just sum it all up here, and this is the reason I want to bring him up, is to do something about this. What can we do about this? He is part of something that we can make him no longer part of. All right?
What? The living world.
I mean, that's it.
Allegedly.
He is part of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame.
What?
All right?
Why and how?
Here's the thing, though. We can get rid of him, or he belongs there. He belongs in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. I also believe Pete Rose belongs in Cooperstown in the Baseball Hall
Are you
of Fame.
arguing for or against Pete Rose being in Cooperstown?
I am arguing for Pete Rose being.
So you think
because it's the Hall of Fame.
You think Stan Kroenke should be in the
Fame
Missouri Hall of Fame?
includes infamy.
Okay.
This is a weird story you're telling.
My push is that I don't want him in there. I'm just saying, like, the argument for him being in there is infamy. Just like I believe Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame because of infamy.
I
don't think that's true. The argument for him being in there is because he owned a good football team, and then did bad things with it later.
Yeah. So I think
that's the same thing as Pete Rose being the greatest hitter of all time and did bad things later.
No, it's not.
How dare you?
No,
he's the hit leader.
David,
that's not true. If you combine Ichiro's hits from the Japan League, the Nippon League, and the Major League Baseball, it's more than Pete Rose.
So, David, here's the thing. I think
you considered ADHD medication.
Yeah, I have. Ichiro is going to be a 100% vote in unanimous in 2025.
What?
Yes, it feels like
that was a bit.
David,
was it? It didn't feel like one.
David.
I mean,
it feels like unfortunately it's a false equivalency. Pete Rose does belong in Cooperstown on his own merits. Gambling's bad, betting on the sport is bad and is a detriment to it, but like he still belongs there on the merits.
Agreed.
Stan Kroenke, I think it would be a test. I think you are right on the fact of this is something that we as the people of St. Louis and as the people of Missouri could like mount a PR campaign. And if we could successfully get him expunged from this because he's an asshole, that would be a great headline. That would be cool as shit. Let's do that.
I got one better.
I want that.
Here's what we do. He belongs in the Missouri Hall of Fame.
Sure.
That's fine.
I understand arguments for both.
What we can do is go deface his statue / plaque / whatever in the Missouri Hall of Fame.
Oh, good point.
Just like he defaced his own reputation in the city of St. Louis. Will he still be there? Well, do we still remember the greatest show on turf? We do.
Yeah.
Well, how should we?
If billionaires can come into our house and shit on the floor, we can go into their house.
Yeah!
And everybody to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. We're shitting on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
And what else can we say?
We can say that this
is Overarching. Overarching is produced at Fly North Theatricals in sunny Grand Center, St. Louis, in residence with the Kranzberg Arts Foundation. Follow us on social media at Overarching ST Louis. I'm Colin.
I'm David.
And I'm Bradley.
And this was Overarching.
We have a special guest outside.
Oh, do we?
We have a special guest outside.
Is it John Goodman?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is John Goodman.
It's a good man whose name is John.
Can you say, St. Louis County stinks?
Yeah.
Can you say no? Can you say no? These usually can do this on command.
It doesn't usually happen. You can get a
Lewis, tell us your thoughts about Stanley Enos Kroenke. Oh, straight to the bell.
He's gonna. Yep. Ooh. You know what that means.
Good job.
David Lemon, pimping out his kid for views. What a
Okay.
cute kid.
Yeah, man.
He's that kid. He's dumb.
You know what the funny thing is? The craziest thing is this morning we were like, oh my gosh, this kid is so smart. And we're those parents. We are those parents. We're like, wow, we've got the smartest kid in the universe, which every parent does. And then he comes up here and just
shits the bucket hard.
The amount of times David's kind of be like, Bradley, like, Lewis, he's so cool. Like, I'll just be staring at him and he's staring back at me. I'm like, wow, man.
It's like we're on the same level.
yeah. Sometimes Lewis and I are on the same level. Yeah.
Yeah.